taking a look at my new Bilt Nomad helmet.
All right, so I just bought and just test drove this new Bilt, B-I-L-T, Nomad helmet. It's obviously it's a modular style. It's my first modular helmet. I'm tired of how difficult it is to put on a full coverage helmet. So much easier when you open up this big jawbone. But I've never had one before, so it's a new experience. Bilt is not an expensive guy. It's the in-house label for cycle gear. And what I did was I went down to Cycle Gear, and they did not have the color I want in the size that they had available. But I was able to try on their sizes to make sure I was ordering the right one. Ordered it right there on the spot, paid for it right there on the spot, and boy, it showed up at my door 2 days later, just like they promised. And so it's just all legit. First thing I did out of the box, make sure it still fit properly, and it does. Second thing I did was ceramic coat the whole thing, and yes, including the visor, because ceramic coating does work on plastic and glass. So you put it on everything, and look at that visor. Nice and clean. It likes that ceramic. And the inside shade visor, put it on there too. So a lot of comments about the thing. It's a different experience. People are complaining that, well, those complaints are about a year old, that it fogs up a lot. I tested it, I breathed out of my mouth, exhaled from my mouth and got it all fogged up. It cleared immediately, even at low speeds, like 20. And I did it over and over, and it always cleared immediately, so I didn't have any issue with that. Road noise, it does have road noise, more than a full helmet, but less than a half helmet. That makes sense. And with the visor up, the main visor up, surprised me. At highway speeds with the main visor all the way up, well, hold on, let's show you. Okay, in that configuration, you would expect that it's going to try to raise your head, tilt it back. But at 65 miles an hour, I wasn't getting any of that. It was very streamlined. In fact, the helmet didn't try to steer my head at all. I turn it to the right or the left, and normally that'll push your head over a little bit. Your neck muscles come into play and straighten up. None of that. It just didn't have any. I don't know. It's got a lot of aerodynamics to it. Maybe the wind tunnel tested the thing. I don't know. But they got it right. It works. It's DOT approved, but it's not Snell approved. And my understanding is that Snell does not approve any modular helmet because their standards are based on a full coverage helmet, and there's no modular that can stand up to that. So I don't know if that's the fact, but it's only DOT, and basically anything is a DOT approval. Now the inside sun visor is controlled by this guy right here, and left side, so obviously they were thinking about it. You're going to have your hand on the throttle, so they put the control on the left side. It's a little difficult to find with gloves on. It sticks out about 1/4 of an inch, maybe. Goes like that. Very easy to operate. And really good visibility, really, really good visibility, beyond my peripheral vision. Very impressed. What does surprise me is the main visor doesn't have a single button release, which I'm used to on my helmets. It doesn't have a release at all. You manually pull it down, and it has several locking positions. But that's kind of a thing. But it's a $140 helmet, so it's not a $500 helmet. There's a difference. It has 2 vents. This vent up here exits right there. I can't see this with my sunglasses on. Exits right here and down here, and then this one, controlled right here, goes in there, and I guess it goes through the helmet, but I think this is the one that they must have improved to get rid of the fogging, because like I said, I didn't have any fogging issues at all. So far I am happy. It's tight, it's comfortable, it's very comfortable. With the visor up, the main visor. Of course, it's not going to give me this kind of grief when I've got the jawbone locked down. I don't have terrible road noise. But when it's down, there's whistling on both sides. and it's kind of annoying. So that's not good. It muffles my music a little. I've got the big old several hundred watts on my bike, big old Harley, and it's kind of muffling that, but not as bad as the full coverage does, and certainly not anywhere near as good as a half helmet does. So I've only got 10 miles on it. Let's give it a little more time, see what we think. Now, when I close it, it really closes with a thunk. But here's the interesting thing. So it slams down, but it's not locked. You have to give it a very definite lock. It has these 2 pins right here. And you have to really make sure it locks in. Now it's locked in place. I'm very pleased with how easy it is to open, because it's just kind of counterintuitive. You would think you push up on the release, but you don't. You pull down on the release. And I mean, as soon as you get that thing, you're good to go. I did ride with it up to about 40 miles an hour, maybe 45, open like this. And the instructions don't say anything about what speeds you can do that to. But I didn't notice any problem with it at all. I did it like that, and I did it with the sun visor down. Sun visor could be a little darker, but I live in Arizona, so each to their own. But it worked fine. So again, I don't know how fast you can go. Inside, it's supposed to be ready for microphone and everything. It has cutouts for the ears. I'd kind of like to fill that in with some material and maybe get it a little quiet against the wind noise. Something to think about. I noticed, compared to like my Shoei full coverage, it does not have well, this might be a breakaway, but I don't think so. It doesn't. My Shoei, which is a really nice helmet, has a breakaway right down here. So if you take an impact like that, it will absorb the energy by destroying itself. So it takes the damage rather than you taking the damage. But overall, 140 bucks. I'll ride it for a while. Let's see what I think. But I'm kind of happy. I like it.